Welcome back everybody, Matt the Matt here. So today we're going to continue with my last podcast on fan casting. Some of the members of the Fantastic Four. Once again, a little bit of a spoiler here. We saw John Krasinski show up in Doctor Strange 2 as Reed Richards. We don't know if that's going to be if John Krasinski is going to be playing the Reed Richards of our MCU canon Earth 616 universe, or is that just the Reed Richards John Krasinski of the 838 universe that we saw in Doctor Strange. But anyway, going by that idea that John Krasinski is going to be playing our Reed Richards of our MCU universe, I have gathered a list like I did the other day for Johnny Storm. This time I got Susan Storm, the sister of Johnny Storm, and the love interest who marries Reed Richards in the comics, Susan Storm, or Sue Storm. So I'm going to run through a list of actors that I feel would be perfect to play the role of Sue Storm that also fit around the age of John Krasinski. But I do have an actor, one or two actresses on here that are in their early 30s, late 20s, early 30s, and I bring that up because John Krasinski is in his 40s, and I don't want me to go, why would you cast a 30-year-old or a 28-year-old when John Krasinski is, 40, or in that age range? Isn't that way, way off? Well, you gotta remember when Elizabeth Olsen, who plays Wanda, was cast in Age of Ultron, she was 25. Paul Bettany, who plays Vision, was in his late 30s, early 40s when we finally saw him as Vision in Age of Ultron. So even by Civil War, when they were finally getting together, Elizabeth Olsen was like 26, 27, and Bettany was then already in his 40s. So Marvel does not mind, obviously, casting an older actor to be a love interest to a younger actress. So that might happen in Fantastic Four. Not to mention, I think normally Sue Storm is a few years younger than Reed Richards anyway. So I want to bring that up ahead of time so that way, like I said, when I bring up certain actors, you're not like, well, that's such an age difference. What are you thinking? Starting out with number 10 on the list, I got Alice Eve. Alice Eve is not really a newcomer. She's been around for a while. She's been around, at least for me, since 2010, when I saw her in the movie She's Out of My League with James Barencole. Once again, gorgeous actress, drop dead gorgeous. She's blonde, very, very much looks like a Sue Storm. You look at Sue Storm in the comics, you look at Alice Eve, and it's like coming off the page. She was also in Star Trek Into Darkness, the sequel to the rebooted Star Trek. That was the one with Benedict Cumberbatch as Khan. She also, we saw in that movie, she's wearing a blue Starfleet outfit. So the Fantastic Four colors are blue. That was basically a pre-audition of this is what she could look like as Sue Storm. I think she can do drama. She's done some darker movies. She's done a romantic movie with Chris Evans, where she showed her dramatic work. She can be charming and motherly. What else? The only reason I have her so more on the number 10 instead of like down to number 1 is she was already in Luke Iron Fist Season 2. She played Typhoid Mary, I think it was the name. So she was already in a Marvel property. But the reason why I also put her on this list is because Mahershala Ali was also in Luke Cage Season 1 as Cottonmouth, and as we know now, he's going to be the new Blade in the MCU. So obviously Marvel doesn't mind taking an actor from the Netflix series and bringing them over to their MCU. So Alice Eve might be a good choice for Susan Storm. My next pick is a name that I am shocked that they made a Fantastic Four movie in the 2010s. I think she would have been the first pick, and that's Carey Mulligan. Carey Mulligan has been very big in the early 2000s, 2010s I mean, from The Great Gatsby with Leonardo DiCaprio to The Wall Street Money Never Sleeps with Shia LaBeouf. She was in Drive with Ryan Gosling. He just won an Academy Award a couple years ago for The Promising Young Woman. And I remember watching that movie going, where have you been for like 10 years? He just has this look, and he did that other movie with Michael Fassbender. She looks great with blonde hair. And even they do like a pixie cut. She's subtle. As we saw in Drive, she can be like the motherly figure to her son. So like the brother-sister dynamic between her and Johnny Storm could work very well. She also is a very good actress. I mean, in terms of the acting lineup on here, I would think she's one of the best in terms of the actual acting. Like, she is an Academy Award winner. So, that's who I would pick. I mean, like I said, if they made a Fantastic Four movie in the 2010s, I definitely think she would have been on the list as a possible Sue Storm. Now, after winning an Academy Award and maybe trying to get her career rejuvenated or whatever, getting a Marvel property like Fantastic Four could be a great option for her. My number 8 is Vanessa Kirby. Vanessa Kirby is fairly new. She was on The Crown a couple episodes. The first movie I saw her in was About Time with Rachel McAdams and Domino Gleeson and Bill Nye. People know her now from like Hobbs and Shaw. She played Jason Statham's sister. She also was in the last Mission Impossible movie with Tom Cruise, and she's going to be coming back for the next one. She has the look, the blonde, she's tall. As we saw in Hobbs and Shaw, she can be athletic. I mean, she's athletic enough to pull off the action. She was in that Netflix movie in 2020 with Shia LaBeouf, Pieces of a Woman, where she was nominated for an Academy Award for her performance. So she's a very good actress. And between, she can do the action like in Mission Impossible, Hobbs and Shaw. She can do the dramatic work, motherly figure. And like I said, she's fairly new. She's still not up there where no one's going to be like, oh, I've seen her in everything. No. So that's my number 8 on my list. Number 7, Teresa Palmer. There's another actress who was very pretty, blonde hair, in her 30s. She was actually cast as Talia al Ghul in the George Miller Justice League movie that was going to come out in the late 2000s. That was the one that was going to have Armie Hammer as Batman, Adam Brody as the Flash. But she's been in like The Sorcerer's Apprentice for Disney with Nicolas Cage. She was in one of the best horror movies, Lights Out, directed by David F. Sandberg, who went on to do Shazam. Especially in that movie, she's very good in that movie, playing a young woman trying to help her mother with psychological issues, with her being there for her brother, her younger brother. And you see the sister and brother dynamic, and it's so great in that movie that I look at it and I go, that could be a great development for a Susan Storm, Johnny Storm relationship, and they get the right actor to play Johnny Storm. She was also in Hacksaw Ridge, the Mel Gibson directed film. She played Andrew Garfield's girlfriend slash wife. Like I said, she's a really good actress. She doesn't do that much these days. Where, like I said, in the 2010s, you had also that other movie, I Am Number 4. She was in that comedy, Take Me Home Tonight, with Topher Grace. She's Australian. What else? Then I got Lily James as my next pick. Is another actress who's already worked with Disney on Cinderella. She starred as Cinderella. What was it, back in like 2011? Maybe 2013? Around there. That was the boom of taking the animated Disney movies and remaking them into live action. She was very good in that. Plus, she's already worked with Disney before. She was in that zombie movie, Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies, where we really got to see her do some action and fight choreography, and also be a little bit of a badass. Then we see her like in Baby Driver, Mamma Mia sequel. I mean, once again, another beautiful actress, very talented. She was just in the Hulu series, Pam and Tommy, on the Pamela Anderson and Tommy, forgetting his last name, Tommy Boy. How they recreated the look exactly like Pamela Anderson. She did a great job on that show. I mean, what else? She's just a very good actress, pretty, and someone who I can easily see play a Sue Storm, and probably nail the role really well. She has the talent, charisma, she's funny, charming, well, other than like in Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, she was able to take control and be a leader. So in a Fantastic Four family, yeah, Reed is the leader, but also, I mean, that co-leader would work. Like I said, she's on the rise right now again because of the Pam and Tommy Hulu series. So, Imogen Poots. There's another actress, blonde, pretty. She does more independent stuff. I would say most notably for like the remake of Fright Night with the late Anton Yelchin. He was in the movie Green Room with Patrick Stewart, and also the late Anton Yelchin. She was in that movie Black Christmas remake a couple years ago. She was in Need for Speed with Aaron Paul. She's just in that new Amazon series Outer Range with Josh Brolin. She's a very good actress. I think she's very underrated. She's done a lot of good work. From horror to drama to comedy. She has a lot of range. And I don't know, something about her, I would be like, it's not the first, I don't think, when people think of Sue Storm, they'd be like, her? But I think she can bring something to the role that is interesting and different. Megan Ferguson is becoming one of the best actresses in Hollywood right now. She's been rising ever since she broke out in the Mission Impossible Rogue Nation with Tom Cruise, playing the new, like the U.S. U.S. agent or something, Isla Faust. He also came back for Fallout. She can do the action, she can do her own stunts. Obviously very pretty. very talented. She was in Doctor Sleep, the Shining sequel. She did a great job in that. We just saw her in Dune Part 1, playing the mother of Timothée Chalamet. So once again, you see that relationship, mother-son. So think about that as kind of a Susan Storm and Johnny Storm, even though that's brother and sister. But if Johnny Storm is a lot younger than Susan, it would be more almost like a more motherly son relationship that could really work. Yeah, I think like I said, she's one of the best actresses working today. She has the talent. She can be funny. She can be serious. She can do the action. You bring a little subtleness to her performances. But anyway, she's on the rise in a Marvel property like a Fantastic Four. And then once she's done with Mission Impossible, she's shooting the last Mission Impossible movie right now. So if she wants another franchise, Fantastic Four would be a big one for her. I mean, a lot of movies have wasted her too, like the last Men in Black movie, they only had her a couple scenes. She was in that Reminiscence with Hugh Jackman last summer. Alright movie, she was good, but, I mean, there's so much more, there's more to her than some of the roles she's gotten, and that's why I think a Fantastic Four would be the right role for her. And my number 3 on here is Blake Lively. Blake Lively, yes. I think people are first going to be like, huh? Now, one thing you don't say, oh, the Gossip Girl. Because once again, we had Penn Badgley on that show, and now everyone loves him as Joe in You on Netflix. But no, Blake Lively, I never watched Gossip Girl, so I'm not even coming from that angle. I'm coming from the angle of movies like The Town, where Ben Affleck directed her. And she played a very different character than she's ever played, and really did a great job. When she was in The Town with doing scenes with Ben Affleck and John Hamm. And she was able to go up against both of them and do a great job. Then you look at her shark movie, The Shallows, that, where she was mainly the only person in that entire movie, except for maybe the first 10 minutes. And she carried that entire movie. Once again, showing another level of her acting in that. Then you go to movies like Savages, with Aaron Taylor Johnson and Taylor Kitsch, and Benicio del Toro. Once again, does a very good job in that. Then she did that Paul Feig movie, A Simple Favor, with Anna Kendrick. Once again, did another great performance in that. Then she did that Rhythm Section movie, came out a couple of years, like right before the pandemic. A very action-heavy movie. She has the look. She's married to Ryan Reynolds. So as we know with Ryan Reynolds, he did Green Lantern, and he had to make up for Green Lantern. He did Deadpool. Well, guess who else was in Green Lantern? Blake Lively. Guess who also needs a redemption from that movie? Blake Lively. So, I think he definitely has the look. I mean, you look at Blake Lively and go, yes. She also has the acting talent to back it up. She's also in her 30s, mid-30s. So, this is someone who can play the role for a very long time. Betty Gilpin. This is a name that a lot of people aren't going to be familiar with. But she was in that Netflix show Glow, where she got to show her being a mother, a parent, and having to deal with those responsibilities. Plus she did all the wrestling stunts and action in that, so she can do the physical work. She has the physicality. Look at her. Once again, tall, athletic, fit. Um, he was also in that other Blumhouse movie, The Hunted, that got a lot of controversy, and then they pushed the movie back. It came out right before the pandemic. Um, he's good. Like I said, just watching her in Glow, she knew drama, humor, subtle, emotional, action. He has the whole package. And like as someone who's not that familiar, where people don't really know her that well, it'd be great to get someone a little bit unknown to be in the Fantastic Four movie. That's just my opinion. But she's my number 2 pick. This would be a huge win for her. Now, for my number 1 pick, I'm going to say this right now. Before 2021, I had no idea who this actress was. But 2 movies in 2021. And 2 movies with 3 different roles solidified. This is the girl, the woman, the actress that needs to play Susan Storm. Bottom line. No question. And that is Jodie Comer. Jodie Comer, before 2021, she's been on that show Killing Eve with Sandra Oh. Never watched that show, but I've heard she's great in the show. She got an Emmy nomination. But 2021 was when I saw Jodie Comer in Free Guy and The Last Duel. Now let me go to Free Guy. Free Guy, she plays, and they pretty much playing 2 different roles. She's playing this action gamer character in the universe that Ryan Reynolds' guy is in. And she does all the action stunts. So right now I'm looking at her going, okay, she can pull off the action for a Sue Storm. Then you look at, in the real world, outside the computer game world, she's this like nerdy, pretty, well she's pretty in both universes, pretty blonde, nerdy, smart girl. And I go, there's your Sue Storm. She can be the smart, very smart, almost on the same level as Reed Richards, but also nerdy. But she can also do the action in the gaming universe. But then you see another movie that came out later that year, The Last Duel, directed by Ridley Scott. And in that movie she really shows her dramatic performance, subtle, dramatic, weighty role, very weighty, and she acts above Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Adam Driver, in a Ridley Scott movie. And I'm like, whoa. Who should have got the MVP of 2021? Jodie Comer. Breakout star. She's pretty. She's 28 years old. That means she can do this for a long time. Blonde. Definitely has the acting talent. Just like that, just from Free Guy and The Last Duel. She shows so much range on every level for many different characters. And just, it's great. And that's why she is my number 1 pick for Susan Storm in the new Fantastic Four. You get a girl like Jodie Comer, and you get either like a Zac Efron or a Rudy Panko to play Johnny Storm. Yeah. Bring me that Fantastic Four movie. John Krasinski or no John Krasinski. You bring me that Fantastic Four movie.